Hello! Did you know that our souls are connected by fate? I'm Yuno Hanaki from Production Kawaii's Hanamizuki. Good afternoon, everybody. Or good time zone if it's not afternoon for you. How are you doing? How has the day been going? How's the week been going, actually? We're approaching the end. Are you excited? I'm a little bit excited. I'm glad for the week to kind of wrap up. Nice glasses, thank you. They were actually made by a kind fan who posted them in my art tag. I think I actually saw them in chat earlier. Sneaky? Yeah, Sneaky made these. I need to add that credit to my description. Oh my gosh. Thank you for reminding me. Let me do that right now, actually. Gotta make sure to give proper credit where I can. Can't wait for this week to end. Oh, I've been there. I get it. Glasses. Where is the... Hold on, I have the actual link to the person. I just gotta find it. I gotta find it. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. But yeah, I've been there. I have stuff I have to do tomorrow. But it's like good productive stuff. So I'm looking forward to it being the end of the week because like doing the productive stuff means that I can reward myself with little treats. I like giving myself little treats. It's the main way to keep myself motivated to actually do things. So that's something I'm looking forward to personally. Always love the contrast of the Oni aesthetic and the gamer chair you're sitting in. Listen, man. I can't deny that gamer chairs are comfy. Let me have my little comforts. If we were sitting in something that would be more like Oni themed, I guess, it would be like a cushion, because a lot of times they don't use like chairs in like traditional Japanese households. So I'd probably be like sitting, or I guess kneeling on like a cushion type chair, like one of those chairs that are basically just like low to the ground. And I don't know if that would be super comfortable for long writing sessions. Meanwhile, this has a comfy pillow that I can rest my head on while I'm doing my big thinking. So, obviously, we know what I'm choosing. And you want me to be in frame, right? Like, if I was on the floor, I'd be all the way, like, down below. If I was going to be, like, in my actual, like, position for writing, I would be down here, like, hi, guys. Are you ready to write? I'm like, what am I gonna do? Bang my head into my keyboard? How much stuff did you have to trade for this chair? A good amount. I had to do some hardcore bartering. It's a good chair, though. So I think it was worth it. Oh, that's cool. My on-screen chat isn't updating. Why? Is there a reason chat isn't showing? It should have been. I'm trying to fix it now. Huh, let me try adding the link again. Sometimes YouTube likes to be a little funny. It drives me a little bit crazy. Okay. So we do it like this. Store. Maybe it was just this particular, like, pop-out. No, that changed nothing. False alarm. Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now. Okay. Fun. Love when things work. Or I guess when they don't. Haha. So, like, when I refresh, it's working. Do I need to... Hold on. Let me mute my browser audio so you don't hear me. Because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my stream in a different tab and get the, like... The public chat? Because I was using the chat from Studio. Maybe if I use the, like, live chat from the other, like, browser tab, that could work. I will fix this. Just funny VTuber things, you know? I got it, I got it. It'll be okay. Alright. Can someone test it? Put a message in chat. Why isn't it working? Hello? Like, I can see you guys because I have the chat up in, like, 2 different browsers, but, like... Or, not 2 different browsers, on both of my monitors, but, like, huh? Why aren't you working? Oh, no! Our chat! It's broken! Good reference, I liked that. Man! Of all days! What the heck? What am I supposed to do? Because I can't just, like, sit here and keep refreshing it so that it catches up. Time to resort to capturing the chat itself. Ugh. I don't like that. Okay, but, like, seriously, why isn't it working? I'm so confused. Refresh cache? Test it again. Sorry for the scuff. This is, I mean, I already said it, but this really is just like epitome of VTuber things trying to fix the nonsense. Okay. What the frick? Yeah, where's the scuff be gone? Does anyone have any? Is it still in stock at the grocery store? I need to buy some, I guess. Ah! Alright, well. Do you know the answers for the written exam, you know? Which exam? I'm taking like 6 classes right now. I'm gonna need you to be specific. Also, you got, test answers money. Begoneth scuff. I wish that would work, but apparently it's not. What the frick? Well, I don't know what to do about any of that. I don't think it's anything I can do on my side, so, I guess... Yeah, I guess we're just not gonna have chat visible on screen. Sorry, guys. Anyone who watches the VOD, you're not going to get to see the funny goofs and gaffs of my chat. We chillin' anyhow? Yeah, I guess we'll just chill anyways. That's a bit unfortunate. I wonder why it's acting like that. You're not dead! It's just really gonna look like I'm talking to myself, like my chat's completely inactive. No worries, YouTube has chat replay on VODs. I guess, but I don't know, there's just something that's a bit lonely about it. It's gonna look like I'm talking to myself because chat's not moving. And that feels kinda lame. That feels kinda silly. But it'd be like that. Is this the fastest that a chat has died? No one's gonna believe me. I'm gonna be like, wow, I had such a good stream yesterday, and they're gonna be like, where? You were talking to yourself for 4 hours. And I'm just like, I promise. People were there. We were having a really good conversation. It's just, you can't see it. Maybe you were always talking to yourself. Don't say that to me. I would be so sad. No, don't call yourselves the voices in my head. You would think the voices in my head would say more things about me besides my forehead big. If you guys were my actual voices in my head, I would make you compliment me more. Man. Well, anyway. Today is supposed to be a writing stream. I am here to teach you and guide you through a writing exercise if you are so inclined. If you're not inclined, that's fine. I get it. But, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with exercising your writing chops every now and again. Your frontal lobe is very nice. What a compliment. Thank you? Question mark? What does the frontal lobe do again? Frontal lobe. Important for voluntary movement, expressive language, and for managing higher level executive function. Aw, you're telling me that I'm really good with executive function. Thank you. I don't know if I'd agree, but thank you. It protects you from bites of 87? No, actually. If we're being technical about that sort of thing, the frontal lobe is the thing that's most likely to get injured. That's actually one of the first results that came up, too. The most common region of injury in traumatic brain injuries. Ouchie! Oofy ouchie. We don't like that. But yeah, it does also mention motor control. Anyway, right, yes, writing stream. So, in my time of being eternally 21, I have learned a thing or two about, like, writing exercises, and I've tried a lot of different things. So, the point of this stream is that I was going to walk you guys through one of the more common exercises that I discovered, if you were so inclined. But if you're not particularly interested, then I'll probably just, like, briefly describe it, and then I'll focus on my own writing, and it'll become one of the, writing and Zatsu combinations that I know you guys are so fond of. Let me pull up my document, actually. I'm going to be writing one of the scripts today for the videos. Thanks to the lovely themes that you guys provided the last time I did a writing stream. I'm going to be working on one of the scripts, because I think this is going to be the one that releases first. I have, like, a vague idea of what I want to do with it. I mean, I mentioned I wrote all of the summaries for the scenarios already, but I mean, like, with the project as a whole. I'll call it a project. But, I'm hoping to release these, like, once a month. And they're going to start out more like, if you're familiar with them, they're gonna kind of start a little bit more like drama CDs, rather than, like, full-on ASMR type content. But I hope that that will still be interesting. But yeah, I was discussing it with management, and we think a monthly release schedule would be good, especially because I'm thinking they're probably going to be on the, like, around, like, 10 minutes or so. Some of them might be longer. Yeah. So, that's what we're looking at right now. And this is just like an experiment. So, for me personally, I want to see how this does. I want to kind of gauge how the audience reacts to it before I, like, hard commit to doing, like, the actual ASMR, but the more, like, ASMR type ASMR. Because I feel like my strengths are in, like, role-playing more than they are in the, like, ASMR side of things. But I'm always willing to experiment. Down to play around, you know? Been looking for a reason to write. I enjoy it, but never really do it. The streams like this kind of reignited my interest. Oh, I'm so glad! That's what I hope to do. One of my goals has always been that I want to inspire other people to be creative. It doesn't have to be with writing. If I could inspire you to, like, pick up your tablet and draw something, if I could inspire you to, like, edit a clip compilation, or heck, I could even inspire you to decide to start streaming. If I could do, like, anything like that, that would be awesome. I like knowing that I can inspire other people to be creative. Monthly release is pretty good. Gives you time to edit, record, make corrections, among other things. Yeah, that is the goal. I think that it's a good length of time, and it's a good amount of time to, like, focus on finding, like, staff people and stuff, like commissioning artists. Because, you know, I wanted, like, art for the thumbnails for the videos, and so you could, like, get more immersed in it, rather than using my model, because my model is set in, like, a very specific time period, is the best way to put it. So, I want to, kind of, like, make it more immersive by getting art that fits the themes a bit more, so you'll start seeing some, like, you know, in different scenarios. You know, the inspirational Oni. I don't know about inspirational in that sense, but maybe more, like, motivational. I think there's a difference between, like, inspiration and motivation. Like, motivation would be, like, encouraging you to finally, like, do the thing that you've been wanting to do. I guess inspiration's a little bit similar, but I don't know if I see myself as inspirational. I think more motivational. But yeah, so we are working on that. That is the goal as of currently. So because of that, I'm trying not to, like, rush the scripts too much. I've started writing a little bit of, like, some of them. You guys did give me, like, 11 ideas. So I've been kind of, like, coming to them as I've been inspired to work on them. My motivation is here, but when I have a lot of ideas on my plate, it's kind of hard for me to balance them all, but I'm trying to kind of, like, get intended release order in my head. You're definitely inspirational. I wish to know anything as much as you know about Tales. Man, I know more things than just Tales, I promise. It's just Tales is probably the easiest thing for me to ramble about. Doesn't help that I stream it twice a week, you know? I think the fact that I'm streaming it twice a week is what's causing everyone to be like, oh, she knows a lot about Tales. Which, like, yes, I do. Thank you for noticing, but I promise I know more things. Woes of being a variety streamer, I suppose. You, like, want to be able to be known for doing, like, everything, if you can. Alright, let me take a sip of water. Ugh. My voice feels a little bit hoarse, I guess? Like, my throat doesn't hurt or anything, but my voice feels a little bit hoarse. I've been practicing songs for song covers, too, on the side when I'm not thinking about the scripts. I've been practicing songs, so I don't think my voice is, like, tired, necessarily. If it felt tired, I probably would have just not streamed, because I wouldn't want to, like, push it to its limit. But the song that I've been practicing is, like, a bit of a practice in range. So, I've noticed that it's been, like, making me a little bit more hoarse. But luckily I don't sound froggy. Songs? Could you tease one? Can I tease? Let me think. Well, the one that I was working on today, because I try to focus on, like, one at a time. I don't usually jump between them. The one that I was working on today was a bit, well, besides the fact that it was a flexible kind of vocal range deal, it was... Okay, this is gonna be like a cop-out tease, because I don't want to give away too much about it, but the song that I was practicing today is from a currently airing anime. So it's from a fall anime. Little bit, I don't want to say topical, that's not the word. In season, relevant. Something like that. Trendy. Something like that. That's a lot to choose from. It's that meme of, I think it was Skeletor. I might be wrong. But it's that meme where it's like, do you have any idea how little that narrows it down? That's the goal, though. Currently airing anime is very broad. Well, yeah, I don't want to give you guys that specific of a hint. Gotta keep some things shrouded in mystery. That's from Batman Beyond. Oh, you might be right. Any plans for a karaoke? Maybe soon? I don't want to do karaoke too frequently. But maybe. Kind of want to think of a theme for the next karaoke, though, because the first one was just I sing what I want and make you listen type deal. But I want to figure out a theme for a next karaoke whenever I get the motivation to do it. Please do karaoke more often. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I could do that. Maybe an Uma Musume song? Definitely not. I can tell you that the one I'm practicing is not Uma Musume. And honestly, I don't know enough Uma Musume songs to be able to sing them. The only one I know is Uma Pyoi, and it's only the Uma Pyoi part. Do karaoke every day? I'm not doing karaoke every day. Do you realize how boring that would get? I understand where you're coming from, though. I also love tuning into karaoke streams. I love listening to people sing. I don't even think it really matters about, like, technical or, like, skill level. I just really like listening to people sing songs that they love. Listening to music is nice. You like feeling the energy. Yeah, there's just something really motivating about it. It's that vibe of like you're hanging out with your friends in a karaoke booth or something. Although I've actually never gone to karaoke with a group of friends before. I always used to think I would be too shy. I don't think I would be that shy anymore, though. I think I've reached a point where I'm just like, yeah, I would sing in front of my friends. That makes sense. If I'm unable to sing in front of my friends, then how am I going to sing at all, you know? So I think I would probably do it, but I just need the opportunity to. I've heard the rationale, if I do it too much, it stops being special, but frankly, I think that's a lame defense if the audience loves it. I agree. I think that if your audience really, really loves something, you should be at least open to the idea of doing it a little bit more frequently. But I do also think that, like, just from a vocal health standpoint, if you were trying to sing for, like, 2 or 3 hours every day for like a whole week, I could see how that would be very taxing on the voice, even if you were doing a lot of like warm-ups and doing your best to keep your voice healthy. Once a week would probably be like the easiest way to maintain it if you wanted to do it super frequently. You become a VTuber radio? Hey man, I literally just said yesterday there was a point in my life where I considered becoming a radio host. Hello, this is Yuno Hanaki with VTuber Radio. Today we're going to be featuring covers from seasonal anime. A top 20 submitted by you. That could be fun, honestly. What would a VTuber radio be about otherwise? I guess it would be like a talk show? I've listened to your karaoke stream at night and fallen asleep to it, but the part where I wasn't sleeping was really good. Oh, that's so sweet. Knowing that my voice could even, like, soothe you to fall asleep to begin with is, like, a really nice compliment, actually. I think if I went the talk show angle with a VTuber radio show, it would just end up being a podcast. I think, low-key, that would just become a podcast. Then again, that's what most radio is, huh? Radio is just kind of like talk show segments in between music and commercials, which is basically what podcasts are. Although I guess the difference is that a podcast is usually pre-recorded. Usually. I would be so behind hearing you rant about different things in writing that irritate you. Oh my god, we would be here for forever. Good to know. I'll make note that you would be interested in hearing stuff like that. It makes you really happy. I don't know, I'm the kind of person who always thought that, like, I wouldn't be very interesting, I guess. Like, I don't know if anyone would ever really think that I had something interesting to say, or I don't know if anyone would ever really think that my opinions would be, like, worth seeking out. Like, obviously they would listen if I talked, but not in the sense that, like, I want to know what Yuno thinks about this thing. Just in the, like, oh, I'll talk about this thing, and then if Yuno has something to say, I'll listen. So that's kind of cool. That's, like, something I'm still getting used to. I still feel very new in a lot of ways to, like, having people that want to listen to me. I always thought it was cute that, like, more Japanese, VTubers refer to their audience as, like, listeners. I noticed that it's, like, listeners versus chat. I don't know if there's, like, a particular reason for the nuance, but I always thought that, like, referring to them as listeners was cute. It really reminded me of the radio idea. If you just dropped a 12-minute video of you just talking about nothing, I would watch the whole thing. You're just interesting. Oh my gosh! You don't have to be that nice to me. I feel like you would want to watch a video that at least had some kind of point. But I do want to, like, delve into, like, edited videos like that. Maybe not necessarily, like, video essay level, but I do have a lot of things I like to talk about. So I could see making more edited videos in the future. Probably a little bit longer. I think listeners more general, those in chat and VOD watchers. Oh, you know what? That makes sense. But yeah, feel free to talk to me about your writing grievances. This may be a writing stream where I am hoping to be productive, but I would love to keep talking about, like, writing as a whole too. help you're feeling more comfortable talking? I think I've gotten there. I feel like, my main hang-up is that I think a lot about what I want to say before I say it so that I can make sure that it's, like, articulated properly, which I think is why I end up having pauses sometimes. I took a class once, like a long time ago, where we had to kind of analyze our talking style and figure out, like, the particulars of our speech patterns. This was like a class when I was, like, still considering becoming a radio host, and that was, like, something that was in, like, the beginner's class for it. I ended up backing out, at one point because I felt a little bit overwhelmed by it all. I kind of wanted to focus more on the fun stuff, and I felt like the class was focused a lot more on the serious stuff. But, anyway, so this class, they had us record, like, how we talk to different people and, like, what we sound like and what our voices and our general articulation sounds like when we're talking to different subsects of people. So there was a period of time, I actually, like, rediscovered the audio file, like, maybe not a long time ago, but, like, a little while ago, I discovered it, and I was like, wow, listening to this after, like, not having heard it for years, that's kind of wild. But one of the things I remember noticing was that I have a tendency to kind of, like, get, like, really excited and gush all at once because I finished, like, formulating what I wanted to say in my head. But then I would pause for, like, a pretty long time because I had to reformulate what I wanted to say next. I always thought that was super interesting. But I know that that's because internally I do want to make sure that I'm coming across clearly. I get really nervous about, talking too off the cuff. I get worried that I'm going to say something wrong, or that I'm not going to make sense, or I'm going to forget the word for something and I'm going to look silly. But, you know, I think that you should also be willing to be silly, especially in a place like a stream where you have to monitor, like, so many other things. I think it's okay to just kind of let the words come out as they will. All of that is to say, I think I'm getting a bit better at not being too in my head about it. I'm working very hard on that. I want to make sure that there's, like, less long, awkward pauses. How do you deal with writer's blocks? I deal with it a lot. So that's usually where I will turn to writing exercises. Especially if I already have an idea in my head, I will just kind of take, like, a writing exercise that I already know, and I will try and use that to force me out of the rut. Because, like, if you have the exercise available, I feel like it's easier to, like, warm up your brain and your writing muscles so that you're more willing to, like, actually focus on your ideas. Basically hit a writer's block with a writer's jab. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to look at it. But yeah, I think writer's block, the minute it hits, it feels like it's impossible to get over it, but it's honestly, it is, like, all in the head. I don't want to say, like, just get over it, bro, because obviously that's, like, way easier to say than it is to do. But that's where I will pull out, like, writing exercises, or I'll look at, like, writing prompts and write something else, like, entirely. Another good tip that I have is don't stress about writing something in the linear order. Don't stress about having to write the beginning first, or having to, like, make sure that it's beginning, middle, end. If your idea is more about the end, write the end. If your idea is a scene that just doesn't, like, make sense anywhere yet, write out the scene while you're still thinking about it in your head, and then later you can come back and write, like, a beginning for it, or an end if you needed to write an end for it. I think that's something that people need to understand more. You don't have to write something from beginning, middle, end if you don't have that inspiration in you right now. Whatever inspires you in the moment should be the thing that you write. I've never really dealt with writer's block. It's been more so not being able to get myself to write, but I think consuming more material and finding inspiration works. That's true. it is good to consult like other things that usually inspire you, whether it be like watching a YouTube video about writing, or whether it be looking at like a book that usually inspires you. I mentioned it before, but one of my favorite books has like a really good opening line. And so I have found that one of my strengths is like solid opening lines, and then I kind of like lose it a little bit later on. One of my other weaknesses is like having a strong sense of like the setting. I'm good at focusing on characters, and I'm good at focusing on dialogue, but I had a teacher in one of my writing classes that I took once say that it kind of felt like it was two characters, like, it was just like two floating heads in a black room. Where it was like, they were just talking, and it didn't really feel like there was any sense of like where they were, or like what the environment, or like what the effect the environment was having on the scene itself. Because I'm a very character-driven writer, so one thing that I had to work on improving for myself was like establishing the sense of like the setting, or as is the title of the stream, learning how to take a place and like focus on the place first rather than the characters within it. You can learn a lot of things about yourself through like exploring other media and like other ways people write or tell stories or what have you. You can see where like their strengths are more in like other places compared to your writing. And then you can figure out, oh, so I'm really good at writing this way while this person's really good at writing that way. That can help a lot. Have you said what your favorite book is? Not sure if you've mentioned it by name. Oh, the book that I'm talking about that has the really strong opening line is More Than This by Patrick Ness. I love that book a lot. It's a young adult book. It's like a little bit science fiction-y, which is not my usual genre, but I really like the book. I think that he tells like a really good character-driven story. But yeah, I recommend it. The starting line that I've always thought about, like every time someone asks me about it, the starting line that I have memorized. Here is the boy drowning. There's just something so compelling about that line in particular that really like changed my brain chemistry. Like I had been so like lukewarm about trying the book. I had picked it up on recommendation from a friend. But when I read that first line, I immediately was like, huh? And I, like, honed in so fast. It started as, like, I guess, like, a slow zoom, too. Like, we started that far away from, like, not really knowing anything about the character besides that starting line, and then, like, slowly zooming into, like, the action itself. It was moving in slow motion, and also the zoom was very slow. So it was just very, like, the lead up to, like, learning about who that character is, and like learning that the story is going to take place from their perspective was like really, really cool. And then like the context that you get for that scene later on in the book is also really cool. It was a really good lead in. I think it felt like a strong opener. I didn't find the action itself compelling. I found the way that it was written compelling. And so I got really inspired to want to, like, create strong openings like that. I don't know if I've necessarily, like, reached a point where they're just as compelling, but I do find myself focusing a lot on openers. And then conversely, I'm really bad at writing endings. I think because I focus so much on writing a good hook to bring people in, I don't focus as much on the ending as I should. So that's another weakness of mine. It's establishing the setting and how the story ends. I sound like such a nerd talking about this stuff. Please forgive me. Do it like one of those long shows that's been going for 12 seasons. There's no ending, just always lead into more material. I don't think that's the solution either. After reading Ender's Saga, I became obsessed with a certain dynamic. I decided I wanted to start my book at the end, and the narrative is told by my MC's retainer retelling his life. Oh, interesting. That's a cool point of view. I like the journey too much to the point I never know how to finish something. It's a problem in all my writing that I simply don't know where to stop. I feel you. My endings always feel like they fall so flat because, like, I don't know how to end properly. At least that's how I feel. In a lot of my feedback, I was never necessarily told that my endings were flat. It's more just I feel like my endings are flat. But I was always consistently complimented for having, like, well-developed characters and very realistic dialogue. One of the perks of being more of a listener than a talker. When I'm in, like, group dynamics, I tend to listen more than I talk, because I just like listening to other people interact. And I think because of that, I have a really solid understanding of, like, different conversational dynamics between people. I actually took a whole class that was dedicated to, like, paying attention to dialogue and, like, listening to other people's conversations. Yeah. I loved that sort of thing. The worst part is when you develop your character too much just for you to not be able to write for them anymore. Interesting. I've never come to that point with any of my characters. I feel like I can at least write them to, like, their logical conclusion, not to the point where they're overdeveloped. I don't know, I just have a very strong sense of, like, a character's voice. And I feel like I understand my character's motivations really well. Character stuff, good. Character stuff, very compelling. Setting up the scenarios that they are in, a bit less compelling. That's why exercises like the take-a-place method were actually, like, kind of helpful for me, because it kind of forced me to think about place more and kind of, like, think about the wider setting before focusing on the actual scene that takes place within it. Although I would still kind of lose my sense of place when I would start actually writing. But at least I'd be thinking about it. That's a win, right? That's gotta count for something. I'm, like, obsessed with writing, so I love talking about aspects of it. It's also why I'm really passionate about reading. I feel like it's important to also be a pretty avid reader. Not to the point where you're, like, reading fine literature. Like, if that's not your thing, then obviously don't force yourself to read that stuff. But, like, I think it's important to also read a lot, because that can help expand your own personal, like, view of your own writing. Even if you're just, like, catching on to little things, you can, like, kind of learn and be inspired by it. Characters can be tricky, some can be easy to hammer down, others tough. If you sharpen your narrative skeleton and know the direction, it can be easier to create characters to fit that. I can't say I agree. If that works for you, then that's great. But I don't really go for outlines super often. I like having a vague idea of, like, the concept of what I'm going to be writing, but I don't really like going in with a full narrative skeleton. Me personally. If anything, I'm better at figuring out, like, a character, and to me, it always has kind of felt like the character is just telling their story through me. It's kind of like I'm having a conversation with them, but not literally. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, so what happened next? And then the character is, like, able to describe it, and then I either write it either as, like, directly verbatim first person or really close third person. I used to really not like first person books, actually. I preferred third person because I felt like there needed to be some distance between the main character and the reader so that they weren't, like, inserting themselves too much, but I think there is value in first person. You just have to be able to write it in a way that's more compelling. I wonder if my issue with first person books was because all the books that I read that were in first person didn't really feel accurate to me. Like, I feel like there's just kind of something that happens in the brain where when you're reading something that's first person, you kind of want it to be more like yourself, and then when they make decisions that are dumb, you're just like, well, I wouldn't do that, and then it kind of, like, knocks you out of it. Because, like, the book is using, like, I, my, me, mine over and over, and so you're, like... So, you're, like, subconsciously kind of thinking about it as yourself, or, like, you feel closer to that character than I guess maybe you should be in order for the narrative to be told. But yeah, I understand if, like, the main source of your inspiration isn't there anymore, that it can then be really hard to, like, keep writing the thing. But I think that's where you either find, like, new inspiration, or maybe you take what has already been written, and then you try to make something new from it. There's another kind of exercise that I learned that's, like, taking your idea and then having, like, timed writing segments where you're, like, writing it in a completely different style every time. And you just kind of jump between a bunch of different formats until you, like, find the vehicle that you want to actually tell the story in. Because obviously, like, some formats would come easier than others. Like, maybe you'd find it really easy to write in first person, or maybe when you switch to second person, that ends up being more compelling to you. Or if you, like, wrote it like a script versus writing it like a piece of fiction, that ends up being more compelling. I think it can be really beneficial to just, like, change how it's written, or to, like, think about what you can do with the existing writing to turn it into something else. And maybe that would be the thing that you need to do to reignite your spark. I don't know, though. I don't want to act like I'm the ultimate authority, but that's what I would do if I was in that situation. Here I go rambling about nothing again. Am I actually going to get any writing done today? Who knows? But at least I'm talking about writing, so if I get stuck in a Zatsu that goes on for way too long, at least it's on topic. There are worse things that could be going on, I suppose. The writing stream is talking about writing accounts. Exactly. You get it. You understand. I'm doing my best. Sometimes it's all we can do in life. Gosh, I am so thirsty. I'm glad I refilled my water. Okay. One of the other interesting things about writing for, like, this project in particular, which is, like, writing all of the different RP style scripts, is that, like, it's been a while since I've written a script. I tend to write mostly in, like, fiction style, so I'm like, I'm trying to think about what the best way to write this out would be is... I feel like some scripts don't really have, like, directions or anything, so it ends up just being, like, purely the dialogue. But then I wonder how I would, like, give directions to, like, an audio mixer, for example. I guess just give directions in general. I don't know. I wonder if I should write it into the script. I am thinking. Although I guess for this one in particular, there isn't really much sound direction that would need to happen. I think most of the sound would be near the beginning, and then, like, the rest of it would just be the dialogue. So I guess I wouldn't really have to worry about that too much. I admire anyone who can write mostly in script format. Scripts can be so vague or just dialogue-driven that anyone can convey a lot through that is impressive. I think it's really good for people who are good at writing characters and dialogue, which that is something that I've been complimented as my strength for, like, most of my writing experiences. So I do think that that's a benefit to me specifically. The fact that I don't have to focus as much on, like, direction and place is really good because I can just focus on dialogue. And, you know, with something like this in particular where it's a monologue, that makes it even easier because I can just have the character tell their whole story out loud. That's pretty epic. The only problem is actually figuring out where to start. I have, like, a vague idea. Like, the scenario that I wrote here, I know, like, how it's gonna start. I just have to get to that point. You have a fave genre of books or stories? I remember you said you prefer third person earlier. Yeah, I do prefer when a story is told in third person, but I'm not really picky about perspective a lot of the time. Like, I'm not as picky as I used to be. If I found out that a book was in first person, a younger me would have been like, ew, gross, and not picked it up. But nowadays, I'm just like, okay, if I like the actual premise, then I'll try it. I tend to read more young adult, fiction. I do read some, like, classic literature occasionally, or, like, older works I will try to read, but I'm into more, like, modern young adult fiction. I prefer realistic fiction. I'm less inclined to pick up something that's super high fantasy or super science fiction-y. Science fiction's never really been my thing. But I will try it if I think that the story is interesting. I have to read, like, the blurbs or, like, the brief, like, synopsis of a story before I decide to pick up a book, personally. I really like romance stories. I will read a lot of romance-oriented fiction. I will occasionally pick up a historical fiction. I like, especially if it's, like, set in a historical time period, but it's clearly, like, a fantasy. That's one of the few fantasy types that I really like. I love historical fantasy. I like parody. And I like parody in the sense that it's taking something that already exists, but it's, like, still treating the story itself seriously, but it's a parody of something else. Like, Wicked is technically started as a parody of Wizard of Oz. Like, it still takes itself very seriously as, like, a series of stories, but, it's, like, a parody of the original. Especially because in a lot of ways, if you read the books that the musical was based off of, I read them recently. I read, the original Wicked, and then I read, Son of the Witch. I still have to read the third and fourth books. I think there's a fourth book, actually. I know there's at least a third book. Anyways, so, if you read those books, because I read them recently, but the first book in particular really, like, kind of shits on Dorothy. Like, it kind of treats her like she's dumb as bricks in a lot of ways, and that she's, like, really whiny and, like, not a good character. Like, she's meant to be seen as inherently good, but, like, the book treats her like she's dumb. Just a dumb kid. And that doesn't come across in the musical because, you know, the musical is more focused on telling Elphaba's story, but it was really fascinating that Wicked as a book was actually, like, going out of its way to talk about how characters like the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion were actually, like, awful individuals. And that's what the idea of parody is. Like, parody is, like, taking something and being like, well, actually, what if it was the exact opposite? Or, like, what if it's, like, told in the same kind of narrative style, but it tells, like, a completely different story? Or focuses on a different character. Like, that's kind of the parody that I like. Not necessarily the, like, I'm making fun of this thing because it sucks. It's more just, like, I really do like this thing, and I'm going to write something within the universe of that thing, but I'm going to tell a completely different story. So I like that kind of parody. I really liked Wicked as a book. There were points where it felt a little bit slow because part of the parody was that rather than focusing on the whimsy of the magical world of Oz, it focused a lot on, like, the gritty realism and, like, the politics and, like, the economic situation. And I'm sure to some people that would be boring. It was also a little bit boring to me at parts, but I still think that the characters were, like, really compelling. I liked it a lot. But I still need to get the other books so that I can read them. I only have the first 2. I think there's 4. But I honestly don't remember right now. But that's the kind of parody that I like. Focusing too heavily on politics annoys me. The intrigue needs to be kept at a certain level, or at least not bogged down narrative progression. I understand that. I don't think that Wicked focused on it too much, but I do feel like there were points where it was a little bit slow because of the focus on establishing, like, the current economic situation or the current political climate or, like, the wider political climate. There were several points where it would be like, here's what's going on in, like, the wider world of Oz, and I would just be like, okay, but what are our main characters doing right now? Like, it's kind of interesting, but it also was like, it had a lot of moments of not being interesting. At least to me. But I am also very turned off by too much politics in a book. Especially in, like, a fantasy book and things like that. I feel like I want to focus more on, not necessarily on the whimsy. I don't need a book to focus entirely on, like, the whimsies of magic, but I don't know, things that are a little bit lighter. It found ways to be lighter, while still being a darker, more, like, cynical look at Oz. But it took a bit. Yeah, exactly. You kind of have the thought that you want to get away from that kind of stuff, and then when it ends up being in your book, you're just like, man. Depends on the genre. I tend to like stories more if they're just for the story itself instead of trying to establish a correct or realistic setting. I get that. I don't think it was necessarily to establish realism either. It's hard to figure out what an author's intentions are. You could read a book and do your best to guess what the author meant by what they wrote, but you'll never truly know because you're not in the author's head. Like, unless the author explicitly comes out and says, I wrote this scene for this reason, I feel like you won't really you won't ever really know the truth. That was something I learned pretty early on, too, when it came to, like, there's a progression if you choose to, like, take classes on writing and stuff, where you kind of come to realize that, like, the things they teach you when you're younger about, like, literary analysis, they don't mean anything. when it comes to actually, like, understanding how an author chose to write something, or, like, why they wrote this thing this way. There will be so many times where you just include something to include something, and then someone will be like, oh, it was really interesting that you included this to symbolize this experience that the character was going through. Like, there was one writing class I took where I wrote about, like, a scene that happened at a beach between, like, a character and their group of friends. I can't even remember what, like, the actual story was, besides the fact that I had the beach there. And I remember that, like, one of my peers in the class who read it was like, I thought it was really cool that you had the scene take place at a beach, because it implies that, like, the ocean waves, like, washing up against the shore are, like, slowly eroding their existing friendship. And I was kind of sitting there like, I thought it just took place at a beach, bro. I don't know. Huh? So, like, you could think you know everything about, like, a piece of writing based on your literary analysis, but, like, trust me, man. 9 times out of 10, it's just there because that's where the writer wanted to put it. Like, it's never that deep, honestly. Interpretation can be funny. It could be the most mundane thing ever, and all of a sudden there's a whole conspiracy about it, but it was nothing all along. Exactly! That's literally how it is. We would find out so many times in those classes, like, debunking the literary analysis stuff, where it would be, like, talking about authors in interviews who are asked questions about what certain things meant in their books, and they're just like, I don't know. I just like the color purple, man. I don't know why everyone's making such a big deal out of it. I just like purple. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong in analyzing stories that way, though. Like, if you're deriving value out of the thing that you're reading, then that's great. It's just that you can't act like that's the way to interpret the story, because that's the way that you're interpreting it, but somebody could look at the color purple and be like, I think it means royalty, or I think it means, that this character is troubled, that they have opposing worldviews mixed in their heart because red and blue are usually opposites, or it could be like, I don't know. I just think it's important to know that there's no one unified way. I think they try to teach you a unified way, in school, just to get you used to thinking critically about literature, but I think it's important to know that there's no, like, one way to interpret literature. Yeah, sometimes you just think purple is neat. I just think it's neat. Games like Genshin are doing a lot of that, mundane things that actually have significantly deeper meaning. That doesn't help. I think that, like, I don't think it's bad, but I do think that it is, like, changing the scope of people's understanding of, like, narrative development. I haven't kept up with Genshin for a very long time, so I can't necessarily speak on Genshin's intentions, because I haven't played it. But, like, I think that there is a place for trying to convey stories in that way. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with, like, putting things in that are meant to, like, foreshadow other things. Like, there is value in doing that sort of thing with intention versus doing it unintentionally. I think it's then funny when people will, like, play the game and think that every little thing means something when some of it really is just there to be there. Like, I think it's funny when you try to put something in on purpose and everybody misses it in favor of something else that you didn't intend at all. Yeah, I do think that there's, a bit of a lack of literary analysis sometimes when it comes to understanding the narrative of games. I also think that's the problem of... what's it called? I think there's a problem with, games that are ongoing. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Sorry, I'm doing that thing where I'm thinking about how to articulate my point again. There's a thing about games that are continuous, right? Like Genshin, where like a patch will come out and that's like a section of story, but that it's to be continued, and then like a month or two later you get another patch that's more story. I think there is a problem with ongoing stories in video games, maybe in other forms of media, but maybe particularly with video games, where there is an influence from fan interpretations of events. Actually, I could take like Five Nights at Freddy's as an example. Wasn't there like a whole thing where the creator of FNAF like got angry that somebody's theory was like basically one-to-one what they were intending, and so they got so mad that they changed it because they were frustrated that somebody figured it out? I think that there is an issue with fan culture in like ongoing series, franchises, what have you, where you will eventually be influenced by your fandom. And then I think that really hurts a narrative. I think that is like an example. Like, taking it back to Genshin, I guess, I worry that maybe the reason these things keep happening is because the fandom will be so intense about their theories and about, like, what they think is happening, that eventually makes the people who are writing the story be like, oh, maybe we should include that because that's what the fans want to see. So it leads to a kind of pandering that takes away from the initially intended narrative. That's something that's always kind of bothered me about ongoing stuff. I wish more games came out finished, because I want to see a finished story more than I want to see a game that, like, starts out with something but then has to keep going and then eventually gets influenced. There's actually, an online creator that made another kind of, like, horror-esque story, Welcome Home, if you guys have heard of that. The creator of that, who I think goes by Clown. I don't want to get their name wrong. I don't remember what the name of the creator is, though, unfortunately. But they actually, like, openly stated that every time they release, like, updates for their content, that they will not look at any fan content. They will not look at fan theories. They will not look at fan fiction. They will, like, maybe look at fan art, but they try to avoid anything that has to do with, like, fan headcanons or fan theories, because they don't want the theories to shape how they are going to tell their story. I think that's an example of someone who kind of understands the effect that looking too much into your fan base can have on, like, how you're telling your story. I thought that was really cool. I like that someone, while they are willing to share it in, like, increments, it was kind of interesting that they chose to take that step back from their fandom. Like, they allow it still. They don't mind that people are doing it, but they don't intend to look at any of the theories because they don't want it to influence their intention with the narrative. I feel like more places should implement things like that. So that we have less Scott Cawthons in the world, you know? Like, less people who get mad when a theory ends up predicting something, and then having to completely change your narrative because you're butthurt that your plotline was figured out. Such is the problem with, like, ongoing narratives, in my opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with a serial narrative, but I think that you have to understand that you should probably back away from your fan base's theories, because there is a chance that it could influence you. To be honest, when I drop my books, I'll actively encourage fans to branch off and write fan content, and I want to find a way to rope some of those into spin-off material, and that's certainly your choice. Like, you are the author. You can choose what is canon and what isn't. I think that's one of the benefits to being a creator, especially if you are an online creator. I think you can, like, pick and choose what you want to have be established in your canon. Conversely, I don't think you should let it go to the point where it, like, fully influences your narrative. I think there's, like, a way to balance it. If you think that you can balance it, then by all means, encourage your fans to keep making content for you and, like, what you're creating. But, I don't know, for me, I would probably be pretty cautious about what I consume because I don't necessarily want to, like... I feel like I'm the kind of person where if I saw someone make a theory about something I wrote, I would be like, oh, that idea is so much better than the idea I had in my head. What if I went with that? What if I just made that canon? That's just me, though. Ruby is a husk of its former self. Too much going on in RT and it's affecting their storytelling. People left that show long ago. I think I watched, like, up to Season 2, or maybe Season 3 of Ruby, but it did, like, lose me very, very fast. I feel like... I don't know if that's necessarily an example of, like, being influenced by your fandom. I think some things were influenced by the fandom, for sure. Like, ships that don't really make sense, but I'm not gonna get into that. This isn't a platform for shipping discourse, at least not today. I think Ruby has more problems with it than, like, fandom interference. I would agree that a lot of it is internal. But, like, I think they lost the plot with, like, what the original intention was. The thing with these series, right, is that you have to understand that, there's, like, a Bible that every ongoing series has that's, like, this is, like, the core of the thing that we are making. We have to make sure we stick to these guidelines when we release, like, ongoing seasons or when we develop new plot points. Like, there's always a Bible for these kinds of shows. I feel like the writers of Ruby have been ignoring the initial Bible, or they just rewrote the Bible to, like, make their own Bible. And that has led to the show becoming something that's, like, completely different from what it originally set out to be. For numerous reasons or another. I won't get into like, the drama of the relationships of people working on Ruby and all of that stuff. That's not for me to talk about, but I do feel like there was some sort of ignoring going on of the initial Bible, like the series Bible, and so it ended up, like, losing its original feel in a lot of ways. I don't think Ruby is necessarily an example of influence by fandom, again, besides, like, in shipping and fan service. But, like, I think you should try to stick to your core as much as you can. Or, like, develop a core that, like, is solid enough that you can make it last for a long period of time. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. My writing opinion. I don't know. I've never written, like, an ongoing series like that, so I can't really say that I wouldn't also fall victim to paying attention to fandom, or maybe not always sticking to a character Bible, or what have you, but I feel like people should understand the importance of having character Bible and things like that, so that you don't lose, like, the original feel or, like, what the original intent of each character was. A Yuno theory? Yeah. That's about right. Gosh, I love rambling. Sometimes I just say words, isn't that crazy? I say words a lot. Why did, like, every window I have open just minimize? What was that for? What was the point of that? Yuno theory, the seals and tails aren't real? What do you mean? They are very obviously real. I just think that you are trying to push this narrative that they are animals when they are not. I don't think I'd ever want to write something intended to be ongoing. I can see some of my ideas running quite long, but staying open-ended, just no. I agree. I prefer closed endings. I would want an ending to be closed, like, even if it took a long time to get to the closed ending, I want the ending to be closed. That's why I get really sad about, gacha games getting discontinued. Because a lot of times it happens before the story has reached its narrative conclusion. And so then we never get the proper ending. And that pisses me off. Like, yeah, obviously, if a gacha game sucks, I can understand why it wouldn't get funding and why it would have to end. But, like, having an unfinished story, especially if it was a gacha game that I was particularly invested in, I get so mad. I know most people don't play gacha games for the plot, so I'm, like, whining into the void here. But there have been so many gacha games that I did really, really like the plot for. And then they, like, get discontinued, and then the story is not finished. And so then I have to sit there like, no, it's open-ended forever, because I'll never know. And that's the worst thing in the world to me. I hate open endings. Even in, like, movies where, like, the ending is intended to be open, like, they leave it very vague, and they're just like, teehee, now you get to interpret the ending however you want. I'm just like, I hate that. Because that means my interpretation is not going to be what the author intended, and I'll never know what the author intended because they didn't have an ending. I hate that. I can understand why people would like it, but I personally don't like it at all. What do you think about a book that's heavy in obfuscation and cryptography? Like, it's got hidden messages in the text that if deciphered would get you closer to the truth at the end. I think that things like that are really cool, but I think you have to establish either within the original narrative or maybe in, like, descriptions of, like, what the book is going to entail that there are hidden messages, because I think if you don't realize that there are hidden messages at any point when you're reading the story, it would be very easy to come away without getting that secret information. I don't think you necessarily have to be, like, super obvious about it, especially if you want to just drop the hint that there might be more than it appears, but I think you should imply at least that there is, like, a puzzle that can be solved if you look for the clues or something. I tend to pre-write chapters with at least 3 full arcs. Writers who post their story with only the first chapter are menaces. Haha. That was me when I wrote fanfiction. I would just write the first chapter and just be like, here we go. And then I would just write whenever I got inspiration. But also, most of my fanfiction ended up being, like, one-shots. I think because I knew it would often be difficult to get inspired to write, like, a chapter 2 onwards, I would get really nervous about doing multi-chapter stuff, so I would tend to just do, like, closed-off stories, even if it was a really long one-shot. I don't know if gacha writers even have an idea of what the ending to their story would be, simply due to the business model. I disagree. Like I was saying when I was talking about Ruby, every series that gets established, like, even if it's going to be ongoing, has an existing Bible of, like, character motivations, character-driven arcs, like what the intended arc for each character will be from, like, their initial appearance to their, usually to, like, whatever the inevitable conclusion would be. It's just a matter of when they're going to slot that in. And then also, I think that the same is also true with, like, the overarching narrative of a series. I think most of the time, with the exception of Ruby, I guess, because they rewrote their own Bible, you will know, like, from the beginning of the series, like, where it's going to end. Like, what the intended beats are. Sometimes you can add in new arcs based on, like, maybe you get inspired with a new arc, or maybe the initial arc that you had didn't make sense, so you come up with something else. But usually you have an outline for, like, bigger series like that. I think gacha games are probably more planned out than people realize, but then I think the problem is that they bank too hard on getting a certain amount of people to pay for the gacha, so then when people don't pay for the gacha, it ends up really hurting them, and then they don't have the money to finish the story. There was a gacha game that I really liked, where they basically, like, crowdfunded the ending. They crowdfunded, like, the remaining parts of the story, it wasn't voiced, though. They had to, like, sacrifice the voice acting when the previous stories had been fully voiced. But they basically, like, crowdfunded a way to, like, finish telling the story, even if it wasn't voiced. And then I think they're planning to go back later and get the voice actors to do the recordings. But this was after the game was discontinued. Like, years after the game discontinued, they got enough funding to finish the story. So, like, I think that, like, they have ideas for how things are going to end. But I also just think that it's a matter of being able to actually, like, put in the time and effort to do it. That sounds like a passion project. It probably was for them. I wouldn't be surprised, but I thought that it was, like, really cool that they were willing to even do it. I know of a couple other gacha games who have also talked about, like, even if our service is ending, we're planning to publish our story in light novels, or we're planning to publish our story online, or whatever. So, like, there are, like, plenty of examples of games where they do try to continue even after service is discontinued. So to me, that means that there is, like, there's always been, like, a planned ending. Like, there is, like, a planned progression of narrative that exists. It's just a matter of getting there. And having the resources to get there. Because when a gacha game's service discontinues, you no longer have the funding, and I'm sure that's probably, like, you know, the thing that's putting bread and butter on the table of the people who are writing the story. So I can understand why they would need money. I'm rambling about nothing now, but, like, there's a couple other games that have, like, done that kind of thing before in, like, numerous different ways. Do you have DM experience? I've never DM'd, but I've wanted to. Like, I feel like I have the drive and, like, the passion to be a DM, but for me, I'm really bad at remembering rules, and I don't know how much I have to have prepared to start a session. That's something that I've never been able to figure out. I've looked at rule books, I've looked at, like, other people doing stuff, but I don't know how much needs to go into preparation. I want to make sure I go into it with enough prep that I would be ready for, like, whatever would get thrown at me. And I don't necessarily want to over-prepare in case a lot of those resources end up wasted, but I don't know how much I need to have ready. I also don't know the order that things happen in. Do you guys, like, do you have the story prepped first and then you have people make their characters? Or do you get everyone to make a character based on, like, the vague idea of the scape that you're in, and then you build a story around them? Because I don't know what the order would be for that. But yeah, it's something I've thought about doing for the longest time. It doesn't even have to be, like, traditional D&D. I've read, like, other, like, offshoots, like, other play systems that I think are also cool. And it would be cool to lead sessions with those, but I've just never really thought about, like, how I would do it. Rules for any system are not the hardest part of DMing. Usually start with a world abstract and then characters. Once the characters are set, write the hooks and gimmicks. Depends on how you want to do it. That's the exact answer I don't want. I need direction. That's, like, the thing that's bothered me. I can't figure out how much prep needs to go into it. There are pre-made stories you can make characters for, or you can make your own story and plan it session to session. Just do it. Yeah, I want an instruction manual. I'm like, please, tell me how I should do this. I love instruction manuals. I love following directions. Yippee. But yeah, I think if I had a guide on the rules, I would probably be able to, like, handle it vaguely. And I'm pretty okay at developing worlds, and I've said before, really good at developing characters, so it would probably be a very RP-heavy campaign if I were to DM it. Because, boy, I love characters. You could write your own instruction manual. Write my own rule set, that's true. Why have to remember rules when I could write my own rule set? Haha, I win. All you would need is good improv and characters with a pre-made story. I don't know. Pre-made campaigns seem kind of boring. I like to be creative, but I don't like having to do everything else. I'm very picky in that regard. D&D and instruction manual doesn't really mesh. Sure, there's rule manuals and monster manuals, but there aren't really any rules about world building. That's not the issue either. What I'm trying to explain is that, like, I want to know how much to have on hand before inviting people into a session. That's kind of what I'm doing. Like, I could come up with a world. I could come up with, like, basic NPCs in, like, the starting town. I could do, like, most of that setup, no problem. It's just trying to figure out how much to have. And then, like, slotting in everyone's characters, I guess. Like, I want to know how much I should prep before inviting people to start a campaign. Doing just one pre-made campaign would give you the experience you need to start doing your own, and they are more fun and creative than you think. Okay. Good to know. I'll try looking into some of them. I know of a few that exist. I've just never really thought about it. Because, like, I've had friends who have wanted to do Dungeons & Dragons stuff before, but, like, they wanted me to, like, fully come up with the campaign and, like, the story, because they know that that's what I'm best at. And it stressed me out, because I didn't know how much I needed to prepare. Ah. Is chat frozen? Yeah, it's frozen. For some reason, chat is refusing to update today, so... I mean, I can refresh it and all of the more recent comments will be there, but unfortunately, it's not automatically updating for some reason, and I haven't figured out why. So, chat has just been frozen. Chat broken. Yeah, it broken. Unfortunate. I'm sorry. I guess you guys just died. Usually campaigns start with a session 0. Yes, I know about the session 0, but that's something else that I wasn't sure what I needed to prepare before going into. Alright, it looks like the answer is a pre-made campaign, at least to start. I'll keep that in mind. I will look into more options. Also, yes, I am interested in Call of Cthulhu as well. I have a friend who DMs Call of Cthulhu games. I would probably talk to them about it. Just prepare snacks. You know what? Fair enough. But I mean, if we're talking about doing an eventual campaign in production kawaii, I don't know if I can necessarily prepare snacks. We'll see. This is just, like, spitballing ideas at this point. I can't guarantee it, especially because everybody is so busy. Including me, I'm busy. But it was always something I thought about doing. Because it feels like something that is my vibe. Mail a Snickers to your players. So true. Maybe you can also look into Vampire the Masquerade. Yeah, that's also one that I really like. I watch a lot of D&D content. Here's another hot take. I prefer Dimension 20 over Critical Role. I do watch both, though. I'm more likely to watch Critical Role's, like, smaller campaigns or, like, their one-shots than I am the ongoing campaign. Very hard for me to keep up with them because of how they tend to do a lot in one session. I like how Dimension 20 splits up sessions between, like, sessions that are purely dedicated to, like, roleplay, and then they have, like, a separate session after for, like, a big combat episode. There's still, like, roleplay in the combat episodes, but I like that they split it up that way. Because it means that it's, like, 2 hours-ish of content, sometimes, like, 3 hours, versus the, like, sometimes 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 hours that Critical Role can be, because it combines all of the roleplay, and more often than not, it also includes, like, an entire combat sequence. And having both things in one video is really long for me. I do like Critical Role, though. I think that they are really good at playing D&D, like, for sure, but I like how Dimension 20 splits things up a bit more. That's just my preference. Also, I kind of like that Dimension 20 is a bit more comedy-focused, while Critical Role, because of the fact that they're all voice actors, they focus a lot more on, like, the narrative-driven drama. And that's good, but especially when the episodes are so long, I feel like I lose track of a lot of the plot points more easily. Because they're long. I lose track of their plot points more easily because of everything that happens within an episode. So, like, me personally, Dimension 20's episodes being, like, shorter and more condensed kind of, like, fits my vibe a lot more. I think starting with something the players tell you with things they want to shoot for is a good idea. Let your players do most of the work for you. That's fair. I will also consider that as an option. Forehead for gore. Sometimes I do for gore. I want to pay attention to story so much that, like, when there's too much of it, sometimes brain expansion doesn't work. My brain can only hold so much. But no, I do like both a lot. I just have a preference for Dimension 20. That said, I watch D&D shows in general. So that's usually where I get re-inspired to want to start a campaign, but then I try to look up, like, what I need to do to start, and everyone's like, just do it, Forehead. And I'm just like, I need guide, I need help. But yeah, I guess the solution is just, like, either talking to the players and figuring out what they would like to accomplish, or finding a pre-made campaign and just having people make characters for it. As a writer, I'm very in favor of letting the reader do as much of the work for me as possible, which is why I tend not to describe environment. I want them to fill that in. That's fair. I do try to, like, give as much as I can to readers, but I kind of do it on, like, what I think is a need-to-know basis. If I'm like, I think they need to know what's going on, like, outside the window, then I will mention it, but I don't, like, keep a running commentary. I try to keep it balanced like that. I think I bring up details when I feel that they are most relevant, but then that means that they're not there super frequently. Because a lot of time I think what's more important is, like, the dialogue or, like, the gestures or actions that a character is taking. I'm happy you like nerdy stuff. You, Crane Expert Ranch, and One Piece Fanatic Kaya are a great addition to kawaii. Thanks. Yeah, I do think we all have our own, like, specific, niche nerdy interests that make us particularly nerdy. I feel... I'm still kind of, like, wondering what my place is within kawaii, but I do like that people appreciate me for my interests so far. You know, going through life in Onigashima, having the interests that I have, it's kind of hard to find people to relate to. Because, like, the Oni will listen to me, but they don't always understand what the heck I'm talking about. One of the benefits of streaming is that I'm finding more people who know what the heck I'm talking about. I use the gun on the wall philosophy a lot. If I mention a gun on the wall by the end of the chapter, if that gun doesn't fire, there's no reason to mention it. So true. What the heck are you talking about? No! Proof that someone doesn't know what I'm talking about! I guess someone in chat is an Oni. It's been 2 weeks, you'll figure that out eventually. No point overthinking it too much. Listen, one of my favorite pastimes is overthinking. Teehee? I love overthinking about miscellaneous things that probably don't even matter. I love just overthinking about anything that comes to my funny little brain. You cannot stop me. I cannot change this. Suffering is fun. Is it though? Is it though? I don't know if I agree with that, but... That's your niche, then the overthinking one. No! That's such a bad brand! Don't overthink too hard or the gears in your head will spin so fast you'll take off like a helicopter. Oh man. My horns just start spinning and it ends up being what helps me propel off the ground. I don't want to be the bangs stealer either. Speaking of which, I still need to ask the other girls to give me their bangs. I forgot to do that before. I need to put out the call. Give me your bangs. They're gonna be like, why? What are you even doing over there? Would the horns spin or would they flap like bumblebee wings? They would definitely spin. I don't think they would flap. I don't think they move like that. Horns don't really move on a Oni's head. Man, remember when I was going to get writing done? That's crazy. Make it more ceremonial, only ask for their bangs during collabs. Oh my gosh. Somehow that feels more embarrassing, especially because it would be in front of their chats, who might not know who I am still. So it's just like... Hi, senpai. Really excited for this collab. Also, when you have the time, can I have your bangs? And they're just like, what? And then their audiences are like, what? And then I lose subscribers at the speed of light. You could barter their bangs for something? What would I give? That's the real question. give forehead? No. I need it. I'm not giving other people my forehead. That's not how it works. If I wanted to give them my forehead, I'd have to give them, like, the whole top of my head. That's the secret. Just act like everyone knows you already. People respect confidence. I guess that's true. What about your back head? I don't... I can't believe I have to reveal this again. Do I look like I got a back of my head? This VTuber's empty. I got nothing. I don't have anything I can give. There's nothing. Nothing. I don't have anything. I hate it here. You need to steal a packet too. I don't think that's possible, but I like the spirit. I like the passion. Kaya would have too much power with a PNG of that. Joke's on you. She literally has my PSD. The thing that she sent me yesterday that I wasn't sure if I wanted to put on stream because I didn't see a point was her just making me bald. Hold on. Let me grab it again because I think she sent it over Slack. Where is it? Yeah, she just sent me like the full body PNG of me, but with my head bald. And I was like, I'm not putting that on my screen. I literally can make myself bald whenever I want. There's no point. Although I guess the only thing that's like different is that she also got rid of my eyebrows. So I don't have eyebrows on this either. It's so bad. Definition of egghead. Who is this? Who is this creature? I hate. The eyebrows stay, that's non-negotiable. Thank you! I agree with you. How cursed was it? I mean, I've seen it before, so it's not necessarily cursed. But, like, you know, the toggle that I have for myself, I have my eyebrows still. You can't see that right now because I'm wearing glasses, and the glasses cover the eyebrows. But, I mean, just imagine my face without eyebrows. And that's what it was. If you really want to see it, I can put it on screen. If you really want to see it, I can show it to you. But are you sure that's what you want? Do it. Yes, show it. 2 yeses so far. Yes. Okay. If you insist. Just know, you guys asked for this. Where is it? Where did I save it to? I literally just saved it. Where'd I save it? Oh, that's why. I thought I reversed the words in my head. Who is this? Where her eyebrows go, bro? I don't like it. She really said egg emoji. I need some mouse pad. Shut up. I'm not letting you people have it. It's not going to be merged. I hate it so much. Why does this also perfectly fit into frame? I didn't resize this at all. She just spawned in like this. Give us a forehead mouse pad or we riot? No! I don't want that. What would the wrist rest even be? My mouth? That would look ridiculous. Huh? Why would you want that? I just want my own Yuno forehead. I hate this. What if I made, like, an eye mask, but it wasn't an eye mask. It was actually just, like, the size of my forehead. So then when you put it on your face, you just, like, extend your own forehead. No, the forehead is the wrist rest, but then that means that it would be, like, upside down. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense as a shape. What are you talking about? A sleep mask is genius, thank you. Merchandise planning skills 100, apparently. Forehead extended for the people with no forehead. The eyes being the wrist rest makes perfect sense. What are you talking about? Eyes are not bulging! The point of the wrist rest is that it's like a naturally bulging part of the thing. Make a Yuno keychain, but instead of cute Yuno, it's just this image. You are kind of cute, though. What do you mean, kind of? What the hell? Why you guys like this? Also, at this point, this is just like Yuki merch. Remember, this is like a separate character from Yuno. Yuno's forehead is 3/4 of her face. Ah! It is not! It's not that big! Like, forehead stops at a certain point, and then it becomes, like, scalp. Like, it's not all forehead. Do you guys not know basic human anatomy? I shouldn't even know. I'm half Oni. Why do I know more human anatomy than you? This is entirely your fault. Literally when? Literally when? You guys asked to see this, and also, you guys are the ones that focus on forehead first. I've been saying since the beginning that my charm point is my thigh tattoo. But no, everybody else was like, look at her forehead. She doesn't have bangs, so her forehead looks kind of big. You guys did this, not me. Wait, you have a thigh tattoo? Shut up. Shut up. I hate this. Actually, I think Kaya started it. That's true. Kaya started a lot of things. Can we get a hashtag blame Kaya? It's cause you're cute and bullyable. We barely see the thighs. Oh my gosh. Alright, fine. Here is our regularly scheduled thigh check. Standing on my very fancy computer chair so that you can see this. Kaya was right. Thank Kaya. Kaya did nothing wrong. You people suck at following directions. I didn't even give you written instructions. You have no excuse. You can't pull the "well, I can't read." You apparently also can't hear. Yuno has many charm points. Her forehead, her thigh tattoo, her thigh knot tattoo, her forehead, her green eyes, her purple eyes, her forehead. Man, what are you talking about? If we saw your thighs as much as we see your forehead, we might switch charm points. How many times do I have to tell you it doesn't make sense for me to stream like this? It's not ladylike for me to be standing on my chair. I have to be a proper lady. Yes, you just need to show the tap more, that's the solution. God. You can totally stream like this. Why do you guys... Like, I can, but it doesn't mean that I should. How am I supposed to explain this to people that come in? Hi, my chat has a lack of object permanence. If I don't show them that my thigh tattoo exists, they'll forget that it exists. So rather than them always seeing my forehead, they have to see my thighs. Nice to meet you, I'm Yuno Hanaki. Like, what kind of shenanigans? Make a thigh cam? YouTube would just be constantly bonking me. You can get on the table and type with your feet. In these freaking geta? I will destroy my keyboard in an instant. In what universe? Yeah, let me just start typing. Stomp, 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 stomp. For what? I'm already not getting any work done. If I were just stomping on my keyboard, it would not type. Yeah, but it would be really funny. I don't agree. Like a horse? No! Not a horse. I'm an OD. Her Keta feet, her charm point? I mean, I guess. To like a certain subsect of the internet, I am sure looking at these is the charm point. As Kaya said, I am the only one in Hanamizuki with my dogs out. Wow. Hey guys, who let the dogs out? Who? Are your sandals always on or can you take them off? They're always on. I guess in theory, I think if they're separated, I could remove them, but I don't think they're separated. So I can't remove them, unfortunately. Why are you guys barking? I hate this place. Why am I still here? Man. Oh god, they're glued on. Well, this is also because if I took them off, I would be small. I don't want to be small. Just put a picture of your tattoo on your forehead? No! That's not where it goes! It's not a forehead tattoo! Man. You look more nerdy with these glasses. Yeah. I think that's probably why they were designed this way. I think it suits my vibe, though. I actually really love round glasses. Wait, you have my tattoo? God! I hate it here. I know Onigashima is technically, like, a halfway point between the human world and hell, but, like, sometimes I wonder if I am actually closer to hell than Earth. We live in a society, bro. What do you mean you forgot I'm a streamer? Y'all... Chat has goldfish memory. I'm telling you, the lack of object permanence in this household, crazy. You guys don't remember anything the minute it's off screen, do you? I end stream and they're just like, wow, I don't know what I was doing for the past 2 hours. That's crazy. Tan Yuno? Why are we suddenly bringing up Tan Yuno? Who is Yuno again? Me! I'm Yuno! Also Yunon! Also Yunonon! Also Yui Yui! Yu-chan! Yun-chan! Yu-yu! Me! All me! If you close your eyes, we'll believe you disappeared. Want to test that? I'll just stay like this then. Everyone will just be like, oh, I guess the stream's over. I open my eyes and I have 0 viewers. Wow, what a great magic trick. Good job, Damadachis. Empty stream? You know, don't go. You know, wake up. Me. I feel like I'm playing peekaboo with a bunch of toddlers. Where'd she go? Where's Yuno? Can you guys find her? Where's Yuno? There she is! Hi, there you are! Peekaboo! If I ever become that kind of streamer, it's over for me. Where'd you go? What is going on? We're just bots spitting out code in response to everything you say. No, I don't want to go back to this chat as a myth idea. You guys are real to me. You're real in my heart. You're real, okay? I've always felt certain VTubers would make great preschool teachers. There's something about the energy that you have to have that I think would present that theory. I do think there is something to that. I would probably agree with you. We're still a figment of your imagination? No! You're very real to me. You're not fake. I refuse. I don't accept this version of reality. When the VTuber shakes the keys. I don't know why that made me laugh so hard. Hold on. Now I have to do it because you said that. Let me find them. You're making me do it now. I can't believe this. I can't believe you're forcing my hand into doing this bit. That's crazy. Okay. This is so dumb. Oh, I was about to say something very silly. Not gonna say that. Let me see. Let me save this. Okay, and then where did it save to? Right. I always forget the name of the files that I save. That's why the fact that my files are so unorganized ruins my life. I always have to, like, remember the specific name, because otherwise I can't find it. Look! Look, Damadachi! Look what I have! I have the keys! Look! Look! Can you see them? Looky! Look! Yeah, they're your favorite keys! You know how many there are? Do you know how many? Can you count them? There's 8, I think. 6. 5. 24. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. You got this. There's 5, Miss Yuno. Very good! Yay! There's 5. Now here's a tough one. Are they all different colors? Do you know what colors they are? I thought I miscounted. No, you can actually count a little bit. For that, I am proud of you. Colors are easy. Pineapple. One's green like Yuno. Yeah, one is green like me. Good job. And there is a blue key. Very good. The blue key is next to the green key. Red, orange, blue, green, yellow. That's close. But I don't think one of them is red. Very close, though. What the hell is green? What color is that, Peppa Pig? Yeah, Peppa Pig is the same color. But do you know what that color is called? Do you know what that color is called? Do you know what color pigs are? You can figure it out. I believe in you. Purple? I don't think so. It does start with a P. You're getting really close. Pink! Good job! It's pink! Great job, Damadachi. I'm so proud of you. Extra key jingles! Jingle, 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 jingle. This is the worst bit of all time. This is silly. I like the sound the keys make. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Did someone actually say pink, or did she just run out of patience? No, someone actually did say pink. Is this the kind of stream you expected to have? No, but I have learned that I should tamper all expectations. I have since learned that I should not go into a stream expecting the intention of the stream to happen. This is all material for her writing. No, I do not want my other niche to be preschool roleplay. That's not happening. This is a one-off bit. It's not happening again. Where did the keys go? No. No more key time. The key exercise is over. If you wanted more time with the keys, you shouldn't have figured out the number of keys there were and all of their colors so fast. You guys are just too smart. Oh my gosh. Read us the story about the very hungry caterpillar. It's turning into actual preschool. Yeah, what keys? What are you talking about? There's no more keys. Read us the Shrek script. Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. Some of those keys were my car keys. How many cars do you have? Shouldn't only one of them have been your car key? My object permanence already forgot the keys. This is what I'm saying. The minute they go off stream, you guys don't remember they existed. 5 cars spaced. You guys are so silly. What has this stream become? I know I'm partially to blame, but like, what happened? What happened here? Why did it become this? Yeah, no, object permanence is the idea that, like, once something is no longer in your line of sight, that means that it doesn't exist. That's why a lot of animals will, like, want to go outside, but then when they go outside, they want to go inside because they still see the door. So they think, oh, I have to go inside there, and then they go inside, and then they're like, oh, but now I want to go out there, so then they go outside. You know? That's the idea of object permanence. Hi, Kaya! Welcome to whatever this stream is. Oh, you guys want me to show her the keys? I love how everyone's like, we could have used your help. I don't think Kaya has been good enough to deserve the keys. That's true. You guys got key time as a reward. I don't know if Kaya has earned keys. Oh my god, I guess we're doing this bit again. Okay, Baya. Okay, bye. Thanks for stopping in. She could figure out the number in no time? I wonder. I guess we're doing this again. I feel like she will... Put me on right now? What do you mean? Oh. Okay, she's actually in the VC. The bit won't work if we do it in VC, though. That's the problem. This is like a purely stream bit. I would have to do a different bit if I joined the VC. Yeah, sorry, man. Everyone's like, what are keys? I'm still gonna show them. I'm just saying that it wouldn't make sense to do VC for this. It's a different kind of bit. Tamagotchi, look! They're back! The keys! Look! Look! Can you see them? Okay, I hope you remember from last time. How many keys are there on this ring? Can you count them? 4? No, that's not quite right. 6? No. 7? That's not right either. 42? A little bit too high. You can do it. Come on. Count the keys. You can do it really slowly if you need to. The answer is Gojo. Higher, lower than 6? Lower. But not too much lower. 155 centimeters! Another joke like that and I'm taking the keys away. There's as many keys as inches on Yunho's forehead. Wow. 145 plus 10. God, I'm taking away the keys. You guys are too mean to me. No more key time. Key time over. Also, your chat is frozen. It's been frozen since the beginning of stream. I don't know what's going on. I put in the code and everything, but it won't update. I don't know why it's being like that. Do the peekaboo one. That'll really scare her. Okay. Alright, guys. We're gonna play peekaboo. Are you ready? I wonder where Miss Yuno is. Where did Miss Yuno go? I wonder... Can you guys find her? She's gotta be around here somewhere. Oh! There she is! Good, she's gone? That's mean. How could you say that to me? How did she do that? Magic! Jump scare. This is so silly. Yuno can teleport confirmed. I don't know about teleport, but I can disappear and reappear. It's apparently one of my many powers due to being an Oni. Every time Yuno blinks, she disappears then reappears. No, it only works if I keep my eyes closed for a long period of time. If I'm blinking, it's okay. When we getting to game, I heard you kind of play games sometimes. That's the surprise. There's no game in this stream. It was supposed to be writing, but apparently not even that's gonna happen. All my motivation disappeared. Where'd it go? Do you actually blink or is that a toggle? I actually blink. Blink, 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 blink. Sometimes I have to do it purposefully because of how it tracks me. But it does blink when I blink. Technically, I could also wink, but I don't have that feature enabled right now. You disappeared for like half a second. Stop. I already said it doesn't work when I blink. It's only if I keep my eyes closed for a long period. You guys are silly. Babysitter roleplay win. I feel like that would attract a certain subsect of viewership that I don't want. Similar to me putting my feet on stream for too long. I did this for you guys as a bit. Don't expect more of it. Are you blinking or are you purposefully expanding your forehead? What does that even mean? That doesn't even make sense. You have infected us with your unique brand of Yuno silliness. This is not... I didn't do this. you even mean? Man. This sure is Austrian. We got too silly. That's true. We are close to exceeding the recommended amount of silly. If it keeps going, we're going to get to the level of Goofy. I don't know if we want to get to Goofy. I can't even focus on my writing now. This stream has been so silly. Gorsh! Wake me up! Can you do it in a hyuk? I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it the way Goofy does. Oh yeah? No, it's not. That's not it. Oh yeah? No, that's not. That's not even close. That's not it. I'm probably more likely to be able to do a Minnie than I am any of the other, like, mainline Disney characters. And that's just because Minnie is just high voice. The Goofy Wake Me Up is a masterpiece. Honestly, I should talk to Ranchan about making that one of her alerts. She should do her own version of it with, like, her Goofy laugh. That'd be so good. No way I can be Donald Duck. Is that you saying that you can be Donald Duck? Or is that you saying that there's no way that you could? Also, if that's true and I have to be Mickey, I might be able to pull that off. I'll write that in tomorrow and send that idea to her. Oh no. Don't tell her I thought of it. She'll be like, you know what? What have you been talking to your chat about? And I'll just be like, tee-hee. I don't know. I can sound like the duck, the Chad himself. Whoa. Donald is like a really hard voice to do. Because I definitely can't do it. She's already doing a hyuk as an alert. Oh, hell yeah. I love that for her. Let's go, Ranchan. Lean into your strengths. So does that mean that you need to make a Donald type alert and I have to make a Mickey type alert? Actually, I don't know if we should do it like in a specific way because that I feel like Disney would be like side-eyeing us. Yuno is Sora? Huh. I mean, I guess. Maybe. I do think I care enough about friendship that I could probably, like, mimic that experience. Don't draw the attention of the mouse. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Especially me in particular. If I was, like, actually going for the Mickey impression, it would be so Jover. That would not work out for me, probably. But it's alright. We all have pretty good ideas for our alerts. We can finally mention our new manager's name too. Well, technically... technically, he's my and Ron's manager because Kaya has a different one. Next writing stream, we have to write Yuno's court case draft, please. But yeah, I think the others have talked about it already, but like the kawaii girls are getting like more personal, like individual managers. And it's like split up between 2 different managers right now. I mean, I know that you like him, but it's a bit of a lie to say that he's, like, your manager. Because technically, yes, but also no. Oh, hi, thank you for dropping in. Enjoy playing, I think that abbreviation is Magic the Gathering. Have fun. Thank you for dropping by. This community stays winning. Anyway, it is, like, relevant to what we were just talking about. He's not my manager, he's our manager. I mean, no, he's a manager. Please. Anyway, his name is Sora. So it is relevant to what we're talking about right now. That's also probably why I was, like, pausing a little bit, because I was like, I'm Sora? I don't know. I don't know if I'm similar enough to Sora-san. Hope we make your time here fun. So far, I mean, I have to admit the bit with the keys was a little bit wild, but, yeah, you know. It be how it does. He's not your manager, he's my manager, because he is my personal manager. But Kaya, like, adores him, so that's why she worded it like that. Big fan of his work. He is, like, super nice, so I understand where she's coming from with that. He's yours and Ron's manager. I know, I was saying that. In terms of Hanamizuki, me and Ron both have Sora as our manager. Kaya has a different one. Kaya is the odd one out. I guess that's just how it ended up being split. I found it interesting too when it was announced and it was split up like that. I figured since Hanamizuki is small that it would have made sense for us to just all be managed by one person, but it'd be like that. I think I won Manager Gacha too. Listen, with the options that we have, I don't think there's a way you could lose. I think our managers are all really good. Do both you guys and all of management only get paid through donos and YouTube revenue? I don't know about management. I can't say one way or the other. I'm also not really sure about us. I know we get, like, a cut of our debut merch and things like that, so I wouldn't say it's, like, the only thing, but yeah. Don't think we should answer that. I didn't answer it in, like, extreme detail, because I don't know. If anything, I will probably just cut it out. It be how it does. You three seem to get along well, like the Three Musketeers mixed with the Three Stooges. Not the Three Stooges again! I don't understand the Three Stooges comparison. Three Musketeers, maybe. We could call you Gun, Gun, and Gunner. I don't understand the reference, unfortunately. Don't say Stooges is accurate, man. I hate it here. Ed, Ed, and Eddie type vibes. That one I think is more accurate. Although I don't know which of us would be Ed in that case. Ed is like a very specific type of dynamic. He's a very specific character type, and I don't know if any of us really fit that. But I'm definitely Double D. I am Double D for sure. I think maybe of the two, Kaya might be... Kaya fits Ed? You guys think... I mean, I guess if we go by the fact that Ed is like the hungry archetype, that would make sense. You know it's Double D because Double D is sensitive about his head too. Man! Unfortunate. Why are you quoting that? It doesn't mean anything. I've already said that I'm a Dare Demo Daisuki. I don't know why you're quoting it. I've already said that before. So Kaya is Ed? I guess so, but I don't know if Ron is necessarily Eddie. Shut up about my green eyes! Man. Anyway, remember this was supposed to be a writing stream? I remember. Ron is an Eddie int. But, like, I don't think Kaya is really Eddie either. I don't think any of us are Eddie material. Definitely a Zatsu streamer. Yeah, I do think that management was not wrong when they said that I'm good at it. Did you get much writing done? If I say yes, you would technically have to believe me because you haven't seen proof of otherwise. Yes? Yes. Can't believe she wrote a full draft of a novel. Exactly! I was so productive. I got so much work done. It's crazy. I definitely didn't get distracted at all. No, not a book series. I don't think we could exaggerate it that far. But, you know. I did good. I did a great job. It's fine. I still have plenty of time to, like, actually finish it. So what if I didn't get a lot done in this particular stream? It's fine. We talked a lot about writing. We established a lot of things about writing. That's something. I think that's good. It's a good something. She did write a lot. The text just has its eyes closed. Yeah, exactly. That's the new meta. The first hour of the stream was very productive in terms of ideas and concepts. Exactly. We got a lot of ideas and also concepts down. It's just a matter of everything else. You know, it's fine. Speaking is just writing with sound. Oh, so true. Never thought about it like that, but your brain is massive. You're so right. So true. Arguably, very based comment. That's what we're rocking with, okay? I've actually been writing so much, I've just been doing it vocally. It's fine. Like I said, there isn't actually, like, a hard deadline for this, necessarily, so I've still got time. Worst comes to worst, I'll just work on it more on my off days. I'll be fine. The benefit is, once I get it written, I'm very fast with recording, so I shouldn't be hindering the production process too much. Speech to text go crazy. Whoa, look at it go. We've listened to a whole book this stream. You might as well have, with the fact that I can't shut up ever. I just ramble about literally anything that comes to my silly little brain. It might as well be a book. I talked about a lot. Kinda silly. Fun though, banger stream. Thank you. I do appreciate that, people like listening to me talk even if I'm not saying anything of substance. Substance? That's not a freaking word! Sustenance! I don't think substance is a word. I'm dumb. It be like that. Yeah, I combined sustenance and substance. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Substance. You know, hello, do you need food right now? We are, like, in my general dinner time hours. It's like the Sitchenario thing. So true. Sitchenario was honestly iconic. There's a term for when that happens, right? Like, for when you combine two words that you're thinking of at the same time, and so they, like, come out together as, like, a mishmash. There was, like, an actual word for that. I have to find it. When you think of two words at once and say them combined. Malapropism? Is that what it's called? Malapropism. No. Well, kind of. No, that's if it's two words with different meanings. I'm trying to find the one where you combine two words that have the same meaning. It's not portmanteau. Malmanteau? No, that's not it. Yeah, portmanteaus are, like, intentional. Are you using AI assistants or the good old Googling? I'm Googling. I guess it's just called a word blend. I could have sworn there was a specific word. I could have sworn there was a word. Well, there might be a term, I just don't know what it is right now. It's like kind of a portmanteau, but not really. Yuno's forehead is steaming. I am! I'm trying so hard to think. I could have sworn there was a word for it. Huh. It really be like that sometimes. I don't know. No, Freudian slip is different. Freudian slip is when you end up, like, accidentally saying something because you were thinking about it, but you didn't realize you were thinking about it. The idea is supposed to be that you're, like, subconsciously thinking about the thing and then you just end up saying it on accident. So that's not the same either. Am I witnessing the rare moment of you thinking? That's mean! How could you say that as your first message coming in? That's mean, man. It's okay. I can't find the word that I was thinking of, so I guess we will just, forget about it. It's no big deal. I thought there was a word for it. I must have been mistaken. First message chooses violence. Man. I'm being personally attacked in this Satsu stream that was supposed to be a writing stream. Unfortunate. It really do be like that, huh? One day we'll find the word. I'm sure I could find it if I did, like, more extensive searching. It's weird. Could have sworn there was a term for it, but it's okay. I completely missed everything after key jingling. You guys are preschoolers. Please. I don't think the word you're looking for exists unless I'm missing something. I could have sworn. Maybe I just made it up. There's like a lot of words that are similar to what I'm thinking of, but they're not the exact word that I'm thinking of. But maybe I just made it up. Maybe my brain is just pretending that there used to be a word for that. Who knows? I sure don't. Anyway, I'm just gonna close this document because there's obviously no chance that I'm going to actually get anything done anymore. Well, I did what I could. Life be like that. No, malapropism isn't really the same thing either. Because that's taking a word that did exist and saying it because it sounds similar to the word that you were trying to think of. I do think malapropism is like the closest to... Malaprop? It's actually malaprop. I'm silly. Malapropism, is probably the closest, but it's still not, like, the same, because I combined two words that sound similar into one word. Or, like, if we go back to Sicinario, that was a combination of two words that mean the same thing. Masticate? I don't know if it's masticate. Masticate. Yeah, that's not the word, I don't think. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't think it's the same word. Spoonerism? A verbal error in which a speaker accidentally transposes initial sounds or letters of two or more words. Well, that's when you, like, swap syllables, though. I guess it's pretty close. Like, it's close enough that that's probably gonna have to be what we go with, but... I don't... It's not, like, the definition. It's really close, though. Why are you guys trying to make this out to be a euphemism? You guys are immature. I know I just called you preschoolers, but, like, come on now. Be so for real. Oh, also, I forgot to say something when it came in because my alerts weren't working again, unfortunately, but, D4 Mad Dash, thank you for the donation. They were asking if they could eat the keys. No, you cannot. Keys are not for eating. I don't think watching an anime girl automatically means that you're immature. I think it depends on which anime girl you're watching, though. Everything is broken this stream. Chat alerts your mind. I am not mind broken. You would know if I was mind broken. This is not what mind broken is. You can't eat the keys. That one guy needs them to start his car. Yeah, he needs to be able to start all 5 of his cars. We were smart once. I mean, I'm still smart. I don't know what happened to y'all. I don't know what's going on there. Let's see what the closed document says about that. You can't. It's closed. Oh no. It's closed. It's gone forever. You know, object permanence. Silly. If you're smart, what's 1 plus 17? 18! That's not difficult at all. Easy. The forehead stores the math. It's true. I actually took 2 math classes when I was in school because I liked math that much. I took statistics and algebra 3 at the same time. And I think in my class schedule I actually had them back to back. Math. No wait, no, actually there was a class in between, I think. I think it was, yeah, it was stats first, and then there was a class in between, and then algebra 3. If Bob had 50 chocolate bars but eats 39, what does Bob have now? 11 chocolate bars, I think. I'm sorry to hear that. No, it was fun. I like math. Class in between was also math? No, it was something else. I just can't remember what it was. Bob is not having a party. You guys are so silly. What are you even talking about now? This makes no sense. Ah, good morning. Welcome to the stream. I'm probably going to be wrapping up here in the next few minutes, but welcome regardless. I hope you enjoy your stay. Did Bob masticate with those chocolate bars? Yeah, probably. Good work today? Thank you. I worked very hard and I got a lot done. I was very productive. It's Yuno first. She's lying. That's not true. You can't prove it. You can't see the document. Was there any particular subject you liked in school? I was the English nerd for sure. English classes were my favorite. I was in like the highest level for English classes. I never heard that keyboard clack once. Well, you don't know. Maybe I have a silent keyboard. Ever think about that? Checkmate. Maybe my keyboard just doesn't make any noise. You ever think about that? Good job doing all that writing and teaching us about object. It's not condiment, it's object permanence. Your key is poor. That sucks. It's so dumb. Man. This sure was a stream. A stream where basically everything is broken. But not my mind, though. I'm still quite chill. Yuno needs mechanical keyboard funds. No, I'm good. It's okay. You guys are so awful. Permanence! It's not even that hard of a word. Permanence. Please. Y'all sillies. We can't keep saying condiments. If you're gonna keep making the joke, you have to choose other words. Coincidence? That doesn't even sound remotely similar. Man. Such scenario is an object coincidence? No. Please. Object persimmons. See? That's a better one. It's gotta be on that level. It's gotta sound close to what we're talking about. I'm saying the right thing. Object reticence. No! No! Permanence! Please. Pair of mints! Bone apple teeth energy. Man. Alright, I think this stream has devolved enough. Have you never heard of the bone apple teeth meme? It's like the whole meme is dedicated to like writing out words as if they're like being said really wrongly. Cause like it's supposed to be like I'm about to eat dinner, bon appetit, but instead of saying bon appetit, you write out bone apple teeth because it sounds really similar to what you're trying to say, but if you don't know how to spell bon appetit, you write it out like stupid. Having to explain memes out loud always makes them lose meaning, but that is what the meme is. Whip out the thesaurus for permanence? No, you need to look up like a rhyme. A book of rhymes. Or things that are really close. Getting a turkey later, bone apple teeth. Yeah, something like that. Bone app the teeth is also a good one. That's what the point of the meme is. And then it's like other examples where people like try to write out a big word, but they don't know how to spell it, so they write something very strange. But then when you read it out loud, you kind of understand what they were trying to go for. You should think of your fave memes and explain them all on stream. That would be the worst stream ever. I don't think that would be very interesting. Bone sap the feet. Yeah, stuff like that. Lactose tolerance. kinda smart? I am, just a little bit. That sounds great. I don't know about that. I don't even know what memes I would put on there. That feels very much like grandma teaches you what she thinks is funny on the internet. I would feel very old lady. My tolerances are almost up. Yeah, I can imagine. All the knowledge stored in that forehead is coming in handy. I was about to immediately throw it away because I was about to say knowledge. Because I was reading stored. All the knowledge? That would have been so over for me. Good thing I caught it. I felt it about to happen and I was like, no. We're not throwing this away. We're not fumbling the bag on this one. I think my brain... It's not an object coincidence! I hate this. We all are gonna exit this stream different people than we entered it. I feel you. I feel like my brain chemistry has been altered. I have yet to figure out if it's positive or negative. Man, okay, I'm just gonna... I think this stream is over. Thank you guys for hanging out for what was supposed to be a very productive writing stream that ended up not being that, but we were still productive in other ways. So I don't think much was lost, honestly. It's okay. So, tomorrow we're going to be playing more Melatonin. We'll be doing the second night. Maybe I'll try to get farther. We'll see what happens. Thank you for hanging out with me. You have a question? What's your question? Object permanent markers. I hate this. I hate this so much. Please, if you take anything away from this stream, just understand the concept of object permanence. We're out of school. I can shake my own keys now. I love that for you. It was a fun stream. Thanks, Yu. You're welcome. I like spending time with you guys, even if you make me a little crazy. I do appreciate it. I bet he doesn't have a blue key. Why are you guys bragging about the colors of keys on your key rings? But no, genuinely, it is fun. Having a good time. What's your question? Just ask your questions. You don't have to announce that you have them. Just ask your question. Oh, I'm glad that it could lift your mood a little bit. That makes me happy. Is it permanent or is it permamento? I don't understand quite what you're asking, but it's object permanence. It's like with a CE. Permanence. Yes. Is mayonnaise an instrument? If you believe, then yeah, it could be. Question is, do you have an answer to my question? Yes, if you bother to ask it. I can tell what you're trying to do here. I think you guys are just trying to stall so I don't leave. I think I see what's going on. I think you guys are asking me questions so that I don't end the stream. Interesting. I'm onto your games. I can see what's happening here. I was just doing it so you reach 3 hours, please. You guys do exist. You can't... Man. Okay, but like for real, I would like to go so that I can have food. I need to eat. Am hungry. I require flesh. Not flesh, actually. I was probably gonna eat something that's like not with meat in it. But yeah, anyways. I am in fact hungry. You could eat on stream? No, we aren't at that level yet. But yeah, I'm gonna go have food. Let me see. I think... I'm ending a little bit early compared to when I wanted to, but I'm gonna send you guys to... It's on... No, type! Dang you. Yes. It's on... She Senpai's channel. I'm sending you guys to the waiting room for the 2-year anniversary for Novamore. They're going to be doing a High School Musical watch-along. They're watching all the movies. That's gonna be really fun. Part of me is a little bit sad that it's the 2-year celebration thing, because otherwise I would so be there. I love High School Musical. But I hope you guys have fun over there. Do support Novamore. They've got all of their big announcements coming up with the original song, and there's another announcement coming. Get excited! Novamore are really good. Good senpais. But yeah, I'm going to send you guys to that room. Make sure to hit the bell so that you're notified when it starts. It's gonna start in like an hour. But yeah. Definitely make sure you watch and you support Novamore with their anniversary. But for now, I'm going to end. Tomorrow we're going to play more Melatonin. And I will probably also still be talking a lot, but hopefully I will also play the game. Ah ha ha ha. We'll see if I can manage to do both. But yeah, thank you so much for spending time with me. I like getting to hang out with you guys, even if I am big soon sometimes. Not soon, it's more like I'm being a Sukomi. I'm just like, please. Behave. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a good rest of your time zone. Yunotsu!